Hi everyone, welcome to the first Global Exchange Program Featured Fellow podcast. My name is Suzanne Rizzo and I'm a Senior Fellow with the Deshpande Foundation. Today we have Jenny King, who has been a Sandbox Fellow with the Deshpande Foundation since 2009. She works on the Entrepreneurship Academy, which works with MBA and BBA schools in the Sandbox region on inculcating entrepreneurial ideas into the educational system. So, Jenny, your project mainly deals with the education sector. So our first question for you is, why do you think that education is so crucial to development?
I think that all the sectors play a really critical role in development, but my passion especially lies in education. It really started when I was in college and was doing educational camps for youth in primary schools in rural Malawi, Africa. And since then, it's just been a really strong passion of mine. And the reason I feel so passionate about this sector of development work is that I think it's one of the best ways to make really long-term sustainable change. Because by working with both youth and adults and teaching them things, they have more abilities to make long-term sustainable change.
So, Jenny, our second question for you is, what are some of the major shortcomings of the Indian education system that Entrepreneurship Academy aims to address?
I think that one of the biggest shortcomings of the Indian education system is that it's based on lectures rather than two-way learning, in which students are invited to form their own opinions and share their own thoughts on critical issues. And that is one of the things that Entrepreneurship Academy really focuses on. We try to use a lot of innovative teaching tools that allow faculty to stimulate discussions in their classroom where students are able to form their own opinions and share their thoughts with their peers. And in doing so, we think they'll get a much more comprehensive understanding of the issues. Additionally, I see a lot of, excellent material that's being taught, like marketing, statistics, accounting, things like that. But when it comes to real-world applications of these materials, there seems to be a really big missing link. So one of the biggest goals of Entrepreneurship Academy is to link those two together and provide students with clear illustrations of how what they learn in the classroom is directly applicable to the real world.
What are your partner institutions, including the faculty and the students, doing to address some of these shortcomings? And can you provide us with a few really standout examples?
I think it's really difficult for the administration and faculty members at our partner institutions to address these shortcomings because they are a product of the Indian education system and a lot of what they know is lecture-based teaching. So by partnering with us, we're hoping that we can introduce them to new ways of teaching, and we've already seen some pretty great things coming out of the colleges. For instance, we have an entrepreneurship development cell where students engage in activities outside the classroom. And one of the activities that students did this past year was called the 2K Challenge. So they worked in teams of about 3 and had 2,000 rupees that they got to go out and spend on a product, and then they had to brand it, market it, sell it. So they were acquiring the skills that they talked about in the classroom in a real world scenario. And I think the students had a lot of fun doing this activity, and then they got to present to their peers what they learned from the experience.
Jenny, our fourth question for you is, you mainly deal with problems in the Indian education system. What are some of the assets that you see in the education system here that Entrepreneurship Academy aims to strengthen?
So one of the great things about working in the education sector in the Sandbox area is that this area is a hub of educational activity. There are essentially hundreds of educational institutions in this region, and so what I love is that this area is so ripe with opportunity for social ventures in the education sector. I also think that a lot of these schools really do want to do something to be different and encourage their students to think outside the box. There's just a disconnect in how they're able to do that. And so the goal of Entrepreneurship Academy is to come in and help them fill that gap.
How is your project relevant beyond the academic institutions with which you work?
So the primary level of what we're trying to do at Entrepreneurship Academy is change the academic ecosystem of this area to make it more entrepreneurial. So we're training faculty to use more innovative teaching tools, and we're developing and implementing courses on entrepreneurship. But that's really just the first level of what we do. Our long-term goals are to support academia in producing students that are going to be going out and leading more entrepreneurial lives. So our goal is that students that have come from an institution that is a partner of Entrepreneurship Academy are going into the workplace and they're thinking outside of the box to come up with solutions that are original and unique. They have the ability to take calculated risks, and they are more likely to take initiative in the workplace. So right now what we're seeing is an impact on the institutions with which we work, but our long-term vision is that these institutions are going to be producing students that are really having a huge impact on the work environment.
Thank you, Jenny, for your insights, and thank you to all of you for joining us. We hope you've learned a lot, and we hope that you join us next month for our next featured fellow.